All right, we're going to try this again. I wish I could tell you, stop calling me. Don't call me when I'm trying to make Mom, I'm trying to make a post here. All right, anyway, Jack Grisham, author, singer, whatever the fuck, however you know me. Okay, this book, The Coffeemaker, brand new, out right now. It is a book that I worked on. Someone will say, well, why isn't your name on it? If you wrote this book, why didn't you put your name on it? And I'll tell you why. Because I consider a book a piece of art. This book is a piece of art. The cover, the innards, the writer, the whole thing. This is it's a piece written by an anonymous member about an anonymous program. Okay? Without even saying the program's name in it. But it's about sobriety, and it's about real long-term sobriety, not this bullshit that you hear online all the time. You know, oh, if you do this, you're going to be grateful and have bullshit. These people are fucking jerking people off all day long. It's not true. The reality is you get sober and you're left with the same shit. The same shit. Same defects, the selfishness, the self-centeredness, the fear, and you have to learn how to deal with these things, how to go through it without shutting down. So anyway, so this book is basically written from someone that has a long-term sobriety. Looking at this, and all the characters in the book are, they're based on parts of me. Now, I'm going to read a couple things to you really fast. One of the first characters, he's out of control. He gets in a fight. He, fires a shot at somebody, pistol whips somebody else, just goes fucking crazy. And he goes to the liquor store to try to get some relief. And he walks he goes and sits out in front of the liquor store, and he's watching the people come out with their bottles, like watching it, right? And he wants to feel better, but there's also something inside that won't allow him to feel better. And it won't let him do it. And I had that moment. I was fighting with my girlfriend. It was fucking gnarly. And I went to the liquor store and bought a fifth of vodka. Now, normally when I buy the fifth, I'd walk outside, take the cap off, throw it. I'm good to go. But for some reason, not this time. Not this time. For some reason, it didn't have the same power over me. And so this is the young man, and he's out in front of the liquor store after all this insanity comes down, and he's watching. Albert drove to the blue ferry, parked at the curb, and watched the brown paper bags exit in the hands of the customers. He could see the beads of sweat on the bottles. I know how those twist caps feel when you turn them in your hand. The pinch of the crumpled aluminum cutting the skin of your thumb. I know the weight of a 40, the space a pint takes in your pocket, and the taste of the wine. The sweet pour of Moscato, Night Train, and T-Bird. I know all of these things. I can taste them and feel them and smell them in my mind, but I have no desire to do them. I feel like a sick boy trapped in a candy shop. I can't eat no more. And so he wanted what basically used to make him feel better and not able to do it anymore once he realized he had a problem. So, all right. And now we're going to jump ahead to Sarah. Sarah is James T's wife. And her child died of a drug overdose at 17 years old. And she was in the middle of active addiction or whatever, her illness when her daughter died. And she's in therapy, and this is what she says. The therapist starts, do you feel imprisoned by her death? Sarah, as sick as it sounds, I felt relief. She had become me. The abusive boyfriends, the missing for weeks at a time, the begging for help and then turning her back on her rescuers. She'd overdosed twice, and the third time was the end. I was in a meeting when I heard the news. My ex came to the club and tore me apart in front of my friends, although he didn't say anything that they didn't already know. I lived off their sympathy. I fed from their attention and kindness. I used their love to get by, and after a year or so it hit me. I lost my little girl. And now I do feel imprisoned by it. I can't repair it. I can't save her. I live in it sometimes, believing that I'm still what she said, even though my life today runs contrary to my daughter's words. I constantly wish I could go back as I am now and be that mother for her. So before her daughter had overdosed, she had called her mom a slut and a liar and a whore and all that fucking foul fighting and craziness that goes behind this. And now, being sober, sitting in therapy and having to basically deal with this stuff. And then I want to go to James. And so when I was new, there were a bunch of great old guys that were just pretty fucking funny, man. And they talked a lot of shit. But being young and like wanting people to like you and wanting to be accepted, you know. So anyway, this is James, and he's just telling a story about one of the long timers. James took a long hit of his smoke. As he exhaled, the sea breeze scattered the cloud. I remember this old guy, Fast Eddie. He was great. Lost a lung, kept smoking, lost his money, kept gambling. Not an outstanding role model, but he was sober a long time and always had something positive to say. Anyway, one day I was sweeping up. He came over to me and said, I don't know about these other people, but you and I, we're the real thing. I was stoked, thinking that I belonged, and then the next week I overheard him talking to somebody else. I don't know about these other people, he said, but you and I are the real thing. Anyway, the book's called The Coffeemaker. Go out and get it. If you're in recovery, great. It's great for people in recovery. You know, if you know somebody in recovery, your family's been torn apart by the illness, whatever it is. And if you just like fun literature, shit-talking fun literature, you can do it. And I'll leave you with one of the pieces from the back. And once again, this is James, and he's given a talk. And James is like an agnostic. He's not sure of the program. He's been dealing with his spiritual pride bullshit, all that he hears from these people. And he says, for people that are so good at shaking up their lives, you'd think we'd be better at casting off things that don't serve us. But oh no. Our minds lock onto the pain and we embrace it. We will hurt and re-hurt and re-hurt until it fucking kills us. And then we sit in these meetings crying like a baby, and some fucking clown yells out, surrender! As if he knew how. Surrender is an instinct, non-human. As an animal, I am not built to let go. It goes against my very nature. I can't consciously surrender. Anyway, all right, it's called The Coffeemaker. Tell your friends it's out now. I'll put the link somewhere down below. Go and get it, share it, feel free. And it's a true look of what it is to be long-term, to be new, to not believe, to wake up, and basically to die sometimes. All right, talk to you soon. Bye, kids. Love you.